Ms. Anna Marie Arpino is in studio. She is running for mayor of Shreveport. Hey, I can see over the top of the screen. Hey, Ms. Anna Marie. Welcome to KEEL. How you doing today?
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Tell folks a little bit about yourself first. Folks are not familiar with you.
Be glad to. My name is Anna Marie Arpino. I'm running for mayor. And no, I'm not a politician, and I say that with gladness. I'm a degreed accountant. This is what I offer you coming into the program, the knowledge and the education. I'm a degreed accountant. I have a heavy construction background, ownership of a very large construction company, late 70s, with concrete, water, and sewer background. I'm past human resources director for the hospital. I was a 21-year caretaker for elderly, which is 21 years for my mother and 8 years for my father. I'm very community-based. I've done some community things throughout the state and also in Shreveport. Just a few of them. I've worked 16 years to get I-49 through, and of course now we have that. It's a long 16 years with a small committee. We did a lot of work. And another was the Congressional Medal of Honor Convention that was held in Shreveport, Louisiana, 2002. D.C. said we'd never be able to do it because we had to raise several hundreds of thousands of dollars in 5 months. Small committee, along with myself, we did it. We had a very, very outstanding Congressional Medal of Honor Convention.
Excuse me just a second. You strike me as a woman, if I might be so bold, who had that sort of Howard Beale, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore moment. Am I right in assuming that? And if I am, what was the straw? What was that moment where you said, I'm going to run for mayor? This has got to be fixed.
Because several places that I went in several crowds that I was in, they had that attitude you just said. And they said, Anna Marie, you're a get things done, start to finish kind of person. That's what we don't have that we need. You're strong, you're educated, you're not only an accountant, but you used to be the city accountant, so you know the city's books. You were first city accountant.
What does Shreveport need?
Shreveport needs leadership. Shreveport needs education. Shreveport needs experience in what Shreveport needs. My background, especially being in accounting, I am very, very sure that there's a lot of money that we actually have that's been being presently put to the wrong things and to a small sector of people that do not benefit the rest of the community.
Let's talk crime a minute.
Absolutely.
New police chief under you as mayor?
Well, the 9-point system is what I want under the mayor, under me. Now, 9-point systems are used in larger towns.
What is that?
I'm going to explain it to you here. But let me just say why we want to use this 9-point system that larger towns use. It's because we have the crime level of a large town, even though we're not. That's a sad fact. This system has 7 substations, and those substations are put in crime-ridden areas. It also has 4 special forces, and what that is those are a force of folks that of qualified police personnel. Folks is what I call them, that only work in these areas. The first one is domestic violence. That's all they work with. The second special force works with black-on-black crime, and that's what it's called. The third special force works on drugs, thugs, and gangs. The fourth one works on stolen car recoveries. These are subsections along with the 7 substations. Now, on top of these 2, we still have what we have now operating, which is the administration, the patrols, the dispatch, the detectives, the SWAT, drug enforcement is there also. Without this system, we're not going to be able to control our crime to the level that we need to. And you ask, why is crime so important? Well, we all know we want to be safe, but I also want economic development brought into the city of Shreveport. I'm not going to be able to bring in companies, and neither is anyone else, until we get the crime under control. People don't want to move their families and themselves into a community with their job or their corporation into a community that they're not going to be safe and their children are not going to be safe.
Let's talk economic development a minute, if you don't mind. We're talking to Anna Marie Arpino, candidate for mayor. How active will you be in going out and recruiting companies and bringing jobs to town?
That has to be handled from the mayor's chair. It has not been in the past, and that's why it doesn't work. The mayor needs to be, if I'm not on the telephone recruiting businesses and corporations, then I need to actually be in their states, in their cities, in their places, wherever, to speak with them. Because being an accountant, and of course, I got my degree in 1988. I've been an accountant in practice for many years. I can do a tax incentive for these companies to come in. We have so much wasted property. We have so many buildings and warehouses and things that are just literally rotting on the foundation of which they stand.
One of the first big decisions the next mayor is going to have to make, if it makes it through the city council, is Cross Bayou development, $1 billion, 10 years. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about if that were your decision, Mayor Arpino, which way do you go?
There's a serious concern I have about, of course, all growth is good, and all developments are good, and we need them. But I have a serious concern on what that soil, that soil may be contaminated due to past use of that property. And I got to thinking, and I said, if anything's wrong with that soil, and somebody happens to own that property, they're not going to be able to do much with it unless they could get some ventures to come in and build buildings and things that we need on top of that soil. And oh my, what that property would be worth now. I mean, I can't help but have that go through my head. Not that that's particularly the case, but first I would need to see if that soil is safe, because you don't want to build things on contaminated soil and have people sick, in the future building. And also,
yes,
is that revenue it makes, is it staying in our town, or is it wandering off to another state from the investors? No one seems to know that information that I've been able to speak with. So I would need to look into that as I would mayor. As an accountant looks at things, we look at all corners, all possible scenarios before we make decisions.